Hey all, my name is Paul Carter, and this is for my EDL853 Special Education for Building Administrators course, and this is my Module 1 intro video. My background, so my position right now, I'm currently a 6th grade social studies teacher in Spring Hill Middle School, which is in Spring Hill, Kansas, and I'm in towards the end of my 5th year of teaching here. I can't believe it seems to have flown. Do have a little bit of experience as well in 7th and 8th grade, where I taught social studies there as well. I graduated in 2014 from UMKC, University of Missouri, Kansas City. I'm seeking my master's in education administration from Fort Hays. And as you can see from the picture on the top left, that's me and my wife. My wife's name is Megan. And then I'm 27. I live in Peculiar, Missouri, even though I work in Kansas. It's not that far away. I coach football as a middle school assistant coach, as well as I'm the school play director, which I'm right in the middle of it. So I'm super busy right now with teaching my master's and doing the school play. Spring Hill Middle School, we have about 592. We're growing really fast. We are one of the fastest growing districts in all of Kansas. We are expanding rapidly. Actually, next year, I'll be switching schools to Woodland Springs Middle School because we are opening up a brand new one. And in 2022, we have to open up yet another one because we are growing so fast. Spring Hill is it's considered a small town, but it is growing very rapidly. Our district motto is small town values, but we're starting to have to get into more of those bigger town values as well, but keeping our thoughts where do we come from. So the critical reflection on how my school, Spring Hill Middle School, facilitates uses in the appropriate content-based learning materials and learning strategies for students with special needs. I actually spoke with a special education teacher here in my building with this question. I just wanted to also hear what she said. But these are my thoughts that I have here. For content-based learning materials, we do have options available at different learning levels, not just lower, which I feel like we focus on a lot with special education, but also higher. We do have the materials available to simplify or give extension to some of the kids as they need them. We also have one-to-one technology with our MacBooks, and I think that's a huge help. You can simplify and you can give assignments for specific kids and their learning abilities, and the MacBooks are a huge resource that I take advantage of. Learning strategies, we have them available. The special education teachers are more than welcome to come help, as well as our instructional coaches are welcome to come help, but not all teachers take advantage of it. I use the special education teacher that I interviewed. I use her a lot as a resource to help me to make sure I'm meeting the needs of all the kids like I'm supposed to. And then behavior strategies, we do have a lot of those to where they are given to us so that we can help with the distractions because some behaviors are so much that they are on an IEP or a 504. And so we do have interventions that we can do and strategies for them to help them learn, as well as let all 28 other kids in the classroom learn as well. So my critique on my personal use or non-use of appropriate content-based learning materials and learning strategies for students with special needs, which I've touched on a little bit already. But for content-based learning materials, I'm very good with technology. I'm comfortable with it. It doesn't bother me to use it. I'm comfortable with the MacBooks. I've used them for a long time. And so coming to a school district that was one-to-one with MacBooks, I was very excited. And so I do use them a lot with my special education students. Now for learning strategies, for low-level learners, I'm comfortable working with them. There's actually 2 social studies teachers in my building, and some of the real low ones I'll purposely give to me because I enjoy working with them, and I know how to get them to where they need to be and what resources they need. I'm not very comfortable with high-level learners. I've worked with our gifted teacher, and she has come in and helped me because I've had to ask because it's easy for me to simplify assignments or simplify materials, but getting the kids so they can get to a higher level of thinking if they are gifted that I struggle with. And so I definitely use our gifted teacher we have in the building. And then for behaviors, I'm also comfortable with some of the behavior kids, and a lot of the stronger behavior kids are sent my way, which I welcome. I love to try to meet their needs either with the learning materials or different strategies that I can use with them. I am very comfortable with those as well. Knock on wood, because we all know how that is. So my plan that I propose that will help me improve or enhance Spring Hill Middle School's current practices in order to improve student achievement and support continuous school improvement with regards to students with special needs. We need more people. We do not have nearly as many paraeducators that we need, and some of these students that we have desperately need one-on-one attention and all day long, and we can't give it to them. And I feel like we're doing a disservice to them because we can't give them the attention they need. So definitely hiring additional paraeducators, which it's always posted on our website to hire them, but it's very hard to get paraeducators into our building. We need a behavior teacher, a special room for students who are not successful. Right now we are pulling one of our special education teachers, and so our resources are very limited because she is stuck in a room dealing with behavior students, and that's not where she would be used the best, in my opinion. We also need training from SPED teachers and instructional coaches. Teachers need to know what is available to them. Like I said, if I seek it out, I have access to it. But if I sit back and wait for it, it's probably not coming. And so we definitely need training from the SPED teachers and the instructional coaches. So what impact will this funding have? Will funding have on that plan I just came up with? Well, additional paraeducators, they cost money, and our district is kind of on the low end for paraeducator pay, but paraeducators make anywhere from like 12 to 16 or somewhere around in there, just depends on your district. So obviously money there. Behavior teacher would be a teacher salary, which our district starts around 40,000, and then obviously you guys know the pay scale and how it increases, so the money there. And then training for SPED teachers and instructional coaches, that's a lot of time for them to be able to prepare to teach us, as well as taking professional development time that we need. So it may not be actual money, but time is a lot of it, and where they could be doing something else. So I'm very excited to continue this course and learn with all of you. I'm excited to introduce myself, as well as here in just a few minutes start watching some of your videos and learning about you.